I'm making this second video. This is the second time I'm making a video about beating Ohio State since starting my YouTube. Started this channel in 2018. I didn't get to make a video like this until last year. Well, now I've done it 2 years in a row. Hey, Ohio State fans, you lost again. You know what's crazy? You actually lost by more points, allowed more, and scored less than last year's game. Congratulations. Oh, but it was bad weather. Oh, wait, no, it wasn't. It was like 40, 50 degrees, sunny day. Huh. Oh, but it was in Ann Arbor. Oh, wait. It was in Columbus. What's your excuse now? Suckeye? Oh, what's your excuse now? CJ Stroud is 0-2 against my Wolverines. We're going to the Big Ten Championship for the second year in a row. We're playing Purdue. But I'm not worried about that one right now. I'm going to talk about this game. Just talk about this game a little bit. This is one of my new favorite games. I thought we couldn't beat last year. And to be honest with you, the feeling I had about winning last year was more of like a I can't believe it kind of a feeling. I made a video about after that game, like right after. And then I made a video like I'm doing right now. By the way, I'm sitting in my car. It is a cold November night here in Michigan. Man, what a day. What a day for the Wolverines. Man. Last year's game meant more to me just because it was so long since we beat them. But this game, in terms of the season, and in terms of where we stand, means more. I've waited my whole life for a 12-0 season. Michigan hasn't done it since 1997. So, a very long time. I was not born yet. In fact, my mother and father were graduating high school the last time Michigan was going 12-0. So, it's been a long time coming for Michigan. And, yeah, we're 12-0. We beat Ohio State in the shoe. Oh, man. You know, I'll be honest. I did doubt us. I was doubting us. If you watch my Illinois post-game video from last week, I was like, I don't know. Hopefully we can pull it out. Well, we pulled it out and then some. Really good game. And I don't care if you think I'm being annoying. I'll be as annoying as I want to be. So deal with it or turn off the video. But for the rest of you who are still here, man, what a game. What a game. First half, I'll be honest with you, this first quarter especially, I was not very optimistic. Excuse me. Was not very optimistic. They got the ball first. They pretty much marched right down the field and scored right away. 7-0. Oh, man. Here we go. We get the ball, and I don't believe we did anything with it. I think we had a field goal. We got down there. It wasn't like a great drive or anything. It wasn't like a dominating drive. We were kind of having bad plays, and then we got lucky with some first downs, and it was like, all right, we made the right play call there. And then we were able to kick a 49-yard field goal by Jake Moody, who did have a miss in this game, but it was from 57 yards. So he had that, and then, you know, they had their own field goal. All of a sudden it's 10-3, and it's like, man, I feel like we shouldn't be in it right now. I feel like they've been dominating us. They've been able to do, you know, they've been able to control the game and play the game the way they want to play it, right? And then all of a sudden, a pass to Cornelius Johnson that went I don't even know how far it was, 69 yards, 70 yards for a touchdown. And all of a sudden, holy crap, the game's tied. And, Ohio State goes down, kicks a field goal. It's 13-10. Okay, this game's close. We'll see how long it's close. Michigan scores right away. Like 2 plays later, like a 75-yard pass to Cornelius Johnson again. From JJ hit it on the money. He hasn't been able to do that all year. I will say about this, I'll talk about JJ a little bit afterwards, but let's keep going with this. So we made it 17-13. All of a sudden we're up. I'm like, holy crap, we're up. What does this mean? And then they scored, obviously, and it was 20-17 going into halftime. We go out there, we score, and they got a field goal sometime in there, and Donovan Edwards was alive in the second half. I mean, geez, he was barely alive in the first half. We did not play Blake Corum. He went in early in the game. He had 2 carries for like 6 yards. He limped off the field. I hope he can get better. I really do. We proved today that we don't need him, but I still would like to have him back. Hopefully he can get healthy soon. Maybe for the Big Ten Championship. He's been like an integral part of our team all year, and I would really like to have him play. But he went in for 2 carries, limped off, didn't come back in. Donovan Edwards carried the load in this game. Finally we got him back. He had a thing over his hand, so he's still banged up. No, that was kind of my worry going into this game. Our running backs, they're banged up. Blake Corum, he's questionable. Donovan Edwards is questionable. Luke Schoonmaker's questionable. We got guys that are hurt all over the place. And I know it's not a good excuse, but when you got Blake Corum, who's been pretty much carrying your offense all year, it worries you a little bit. It's the big game, and he struggled last week, because he really didn't play much of a factor last week, and he played a factor early in the game against Illinois, but after that we were pretty much one-dimensional, and we had to squeak out a win. So I was really afraid of this game, but man, second half came, and they were saying before halftime how Jim Harbaugh and Ryan Day are 2 of the best head coaches in the conference when it comes to second half adjustments, halftime adjustments. Well, clearly Jim Harbaugh is much, much better at halftime adjustments than Ryan Day. I don't think Ryan Day made any adjustments. They continued to play man defense, and we ran it right down their throat. We did exactly in the second half what we did last year against them pretty much the whole game, and dominated our opponent again. We should have done it against Illinois, but Illinois is tougher than Ohio State, so that didn't really happen. I know that'll make a lot of you mad, but Illinois runs the more style of offense that that Michigan runs, so it was a little bit tougher. Crazy. Crazy. This game was absolutely nuts. 45-23 is the final score, beating out our last year's game of 42-27. Wow. I honestly can't believe it. I figured in the preseason that we would at least have 1 loss going into the Ohio State game. That's just usually how it works. We're usually 10-1, 9-2, something like that. And with everything that we lost on this defense, and the complete turnaround that they had, absolutely crazy. I mean, the fact that they were able, not a turnaround, they were great last year, but the fact that they were able to go out there and continue to do what they've been doing from last year, and probably better with the amount of guys we lost. We didn't have those edge threats anymore. We didn't have an Aiden Hutchinson or a David Ojabo in this year's game. So there's no excuse for you there. How does Ohio State lose again? How? I would love to hear Ohio State fans freaking excuses, excuse making. Dude, Ohio State is soft, just like their fans. Listen, I'm not saying this about all of them. There's some really nice Ohio State fans. I've met them in real life. They're some very kind people. But I want to know for the minority, maybe even half of the fans of Ohio State, that they're probably just as soft as the football team. That's my guess. They can't handle when they lose. The players make excuses. The coaches make excuses. Last year's excuses were that it was cold. That it was cold. They had the flu. The wind was too loud. Last year's game was in Ann Arbor. It was snowing. It was blowing. It was cold. But it's the Midwest. Ohio State, you're in the Midwest, where the cold weather is in this time of the year. Michigan, where I live right now, we had snow a week ago, 2 weeks ago. We had several inches of snow, and it was blowing and drifting. That's the Midwest. Ohio is no different. How are you not? You know what? Move your school to the West Coast. Go to where USC is, go to where Georgia and Alabama, where all the nice weather. They don't have to worry about the snow and the blowing wind, and distracting them. Go over there then, if you can't handle it. Meanwhile, everyone else over here in the Midwest, we'll be men about it, get over ourselves, and win the game on our terms. Because it did not matter what the weather was. And we just proved that. People were saying in the preseason of this game, yeah, Michigan had a great win over Ohio State, but they're gonna go back down a little bit. They're gonna have a decline because they're gonna lose a bunch of guys on defense. Yeah, their offense might get better, but their defense is gonna have a decline. They're not gonna have Aiden Hutchinson. They're not gonna have David Ojabo. Ohio State's gonna be even better than last year. Their offense is gonna have even better numbers than last year. They're just going to dominate the whole season. They're going to win it all. They're going to destroy Michigan by 40 points. That was legitimately what I was hearing. What happened to that? I would love to see them the committee try and put Ohio State in the playoffs. I would love to see it. I'm being sarcastic, clearly. No, they don't deserve it. Just like Alabama. Alabama doesn't deserve it. Ohio State doesn't deserve it. These other idiots out here that think their team's freaking Clemson does not deserve it. Remember when they put Clemson at number 4 and Michigan at number 5? And people were saying how bad that was, and I was saying how bad that was, and how it makes no sense at all. Remember when I was saying that? Remember when everyone was saying that, and people, Clemson was like, we have a tougher schedule. Well, while Michigan was beating Ohio State, the number 2 team in the country, supposedly, by 22 points, you lost to South Carolina! Clemson, you lost to your little brother! You know what Michigan doesn't do? Lose to their little brother! I have every right to sit here and complain about all the idiots that I've had to deal with throughout the whole season. I bit my tongue. I want to say something to you because you clearly don't know what you're talking about. Michigan sucks this, Michigan sucks that. I know some of you probably haven't heard that, but I have heard it. Michigan sucks. Michigan ain't nothing. Michigan ain't no good. Their Ohio State will kill them. If they played any of the top teams, they would get absolutely demolished. What has Michigan done all year? We have been demolishing teams, and they still said the same thing. Oh, Penn State's gonna run it up on you guys. We beat them 41-17. Oh, Michigan State's gonna repeat. Tuck's coming. Tuck is coming, right? 29-7. 29-7. Ryan Day, he fixed their defense. It's no longer ranked 59th. It's ranked 10th or whatever the hell. Their offense is better. Their defense is fixed. They've got whatever their DC is. What's his name? I don't know. Who cares? They fixed it. They're gonna win. Michigan's no good. They're on a decline. Better start getting ready to find a new head coach. What happened? That didn't happen. Now did it? Michigan is 12-0. 0 losses. To the brain dead idiots out there who don't understand, you don't get to 12-0 and not be good. We are one of 3, count them, 3 undefeateds left with Georgia and TCU. I don't care what you say about TCU and Georgia today. Yes, they're really good teams. I get it. I'm not going to crap on them. They have done an amazing job just like Michigan has this year. Georgia is Georgia. TCU is a great story. I'm rooting for them unless they play my team, which could actually happen now. We'll see. We'll see how these conference title games go. But regardless of that stuff, no other team matters at this point. Now it's those 3 teams. Georgia has to beat LSU. LSU is getting absolutely manhandled right now by Texas A&M. So get them out. Another reason why Bama shouldn't be in. And who else do you got? You got LSU getting manhandled. USC, I think they're beating down Notre Dame right now. I don't actually know the score. Last I looked, it was like 31-14 or something. Who cares? They could get in. Honestly, they could be the team that gets in. Right now, it looks like that actually might be the team that gets in. Come next on Tuesday's playoff rankings, we may see Georgia, Michigan, TCU, USC. I am fired up. I've gotten so much crap this year from non-Michigan fans. Michigan State fans, Notre Dame fans, fans of anybody in the Big Ten. Not really, but like, you know what I mean. It's mostly just Notre Dame and Michigan State fans. Let's be real. I don't know what it is about these Notre Dame fans and running their dang mouths all season long. Oh, Ohio State, they couldn't beat us, so how could, or they could beat us, but they barely beat us, so you think that means they're gonna kill you guys because they only beat us by 11. What? That is legitimately what I've heard. I am not kidding you. From Notre Dame fans. Notre Dame! What does Notre Dame fans have anything to say about this season? You lost to Marshall. You lost to Stanford. You've lost to Ohio State. 21-10. Remember that one? That was the season opener. You know, they say Ohio State and just teams in general get better as the season goes on. That was the case for Ohio State. They've looked a lot better lately than they have in that first game, and they still lost. You guys played Notre Dame. You played the worst version of Ohio State and lost by 11. Michigan played the best version of them and beat them by 22. That game was scored 31 total points between both teams. Michigan outscored both of you combined. Oh, man. Michigan, hail to the victors valiant. Hail to the conquering heroes. Hail, hail to Michigan, the leaders and best. Hail to the victors valiant. Hail to the conquering heroes. Hail, hail to Michigan, the champions of the West. I've never sang that so proudly. Never. And I'm not one to be cocky, but I've got every right to be cocky now. Now do I? I seem crazy, don't I? No, I swear I'm normal most of the time. King of the North. We're the King of the North, as Johnny Olden would say. What else? Hail to Michigan. 12-0. 12-0. I know, I'm 21 minutes into this video. The game ended hours and hours ago, as you can tell. I'm in my car and it's nighttime now. It's night time. Let me actually talk about how players played. J.J. McCarthy. My man, J.J. McCarthy. Man, I've been hard on him. I think Michigan fans in general have been hard on J.J. McCarthy. You know, not playing to his full potential. And I still don't think he has. To be fair, I don't think he's played to his full potential. But he balled out today. Completely and utterly balled out in this game. Completely. This was the best game he's ever played. And it was the perfect time to play his best game. 3 touchdowns through the air. 1 touchdown on the ground. Fantastic. Fantastic day. I think close to 300 yards passing. I'm going to stretch out my legs. Blake Corum couldn't play in this game. 2 carries for 6 yards. So, what did we do? We put in Donovan Edwards. Stretch out my legs here. We put in Donovan Edwards to be basically our backup, basically our support in the run game. And first half couldn't really get much going. He was being stopped. Our offensive line couldn't protect him. It was quite irritating to watch, honestly. Second half, 216 rushing yards. Now, most of that was off of 2 runs. One of them 75 and one of them 85 yards, both for touchdowns. But he had 22 carries, so it looks better than that. So, great, just fantastic. Fantastic. Offensive line played great in the second half. Protected the quarterback, protected the running back. JJ ran it himself a little bit. He's tough, man. He's tough. I really appreciate JJ McCarthy. I am more a fan now of him than ever. The last 2 Michigan quarterbacks, Cade McNamara and now JJ McCarthy, have both beaten Ohio State, and it's just great to see. It's great to see Michigan get back to where they need to be and back to be where they should be. Because when Michigan is good, when Michigan is this highly ranked, it's good for the sport. As much as you don't want to believe it, Michigan is historically great. So when we're on the top of the mountain, when we're towards the top of the mountain, at least we're not at the top right now. I've still never seen Michigan ranked number 1. Man. It's real nice to see, ain't it? It's real nice to see. 12-0. 12-0 for the first time since 1997. First time having back-to-back wins over Ohio State since 1999 and 2000. First time beating Ohio State in Columbus since 2000. Again, I wasn't even born yet for all of these things. All of these things. I wasn't born yet. I will be 21 next Friday, the day before the Big Ten Championship. Yeah. I'm very happy. Michigan, I'm really proud of this team and where they've came from, and to just think of where Michigan was 2 years ago. And I know I was talking about it last year too, after our great season last year, finishing the season 11-1 with that one stupid loss to Michigan State that we shouldn't have lost. But none of that matters. I was saying, man, what a turnaround. But now Michigan, after that 21-21 season, I was saying, and everybody else was saying, okay, well, now Michigan needs to go out there and they need to not only prove that they weren't a one-hit wonder or that the season was a fluke. Not only do they have to go out there and prove that, but they need to get that Ohio State win again. They need to get that Big Ten championship appearance and win again. And they need to make the playoffs again and actually make a splash in the playoffs. Now, based on where we could land, I don't think we'll be playing Georgia in the first round. I think Georgia will completely and utterly dominate LSU in the SEC title game. I see Georgia as the number one team right now. Georgia, and then it's Michigan. You put TCU in there, and then whoever else you want to put in there. So whoever else probably deserves it. USC, something like that. We'll see. We'll see where it ends up. There's still quite a bit of season to be played yet. We still got to see these conference title games next week, so these games are huge. Michigan playing Purdue. Purdue, I was happy about this, actually, because the other two, it was crazy. Going into this weekend, if Iowa beats Nebraska, then they're in. But if Iowa doesn't beat Nebraska, then Purdue has a chance. And if Purdue doesn't beat Indiana, then Illinois has a chance. And if Illinois doesn't beat Northwestern, so like say all three of those teams lose, then Iowa is in. So it came down to those three. Iowa ended up losing on Friday night to Nebraska. Completely ridiculous. They actually got dominated in the game. Horrible. Iowa's a disgrace. Nebraska, really? Congratulations, Nebraska. You got one more win than last year. And then Purdue and Illinois played at the exact same time. Illinois completely destroyed Northwestern. It was like 41-7 or something. But it ended up mattering because Purdue ended up beating Indiana, I think 30-16. And Purdue has earned their berth in the Big Ten championship game. And I'm happy about this. Why? Well, Michigan already played Iowa in Kinnick and beat them 27-14. Should have been 27-7. We already beat Iowa. We don't need to play them again. Illinois, we already beat them too. We beat them last week. Yeah, it was close, but we beat them. We beat them. What do you want me to say? We beat them. We don't got to prove nothing to them. We won the game. We're better than them. They shouldn't be in the Big Ten championship game for beating a lousy Northwestern team and losing to Michigan State and other teams. So Purdue I'm happy about because we haven't played Purdue yet. So this is going to be just another test for Michigan. Purdue has been largely inconsistent this year. I hope it's a lot like last year's national championship. I wish. I hope it's a lot like last year's Big Ten championship game against Iowa. We go out there, we dominate, and we put them out of their misery and just win the game. And don't make me sweat, please, Michigan. Play like how you did today, or at least the second half of this game. I want to see that 13-0. I want to see us in the playoffs again, and I want to play TCU. I want to play TCU. And then Georgia can beat whoever they beat. And then I want that Georgia game in the national championship. I want that game. Listen, we may not win it. I understand Georgia is on another freaking level. They were on another freaking level last year. They killed us last year. They were the only team we played last year where we didn't stand a chance against them. But I want that rematch. I do. By the way, keep Alabama away from the playoffs. The fact that they are number 7 and with 2 losses is a complete and utter freaking disgrace. Disgrace! Clemson's done. They lost. Get them out. Get them out. Bama being at number 7 with 2 losses, and with LSU losing, and USC could possibly lose. After the way Michigan dominated today, and then Alabama winning, I was like, man, do I want USC to beat Notre Dame now? Because I don't want to see Bama in the playoffs. I would way rather play USC. Way rather. Because everybody no one wants to see Georgia Bama. Nobody. I don't want to see it. You don't want to see it. Nobody wants to see it. Get them out. Get Bama out. You don't get 2 losses, and I don't care who they're to and where they were at. 2 losses, you're out. Oh, but it was at LSU and it was at Tennessee. Michigan played at Ohio State and won. Michigan played at Iowa and won. I know you're laughing, but it's tough to play at Kinnick. No excuses. Don't lose those games. What did Georgia do when they played Tennessee? Killed them. Dominated them. Then what did Tennessee do? Get killed by South Carolina. Clemson, what did they do? Got destroyed by Notre Dame, and then they lose to their little brother South Carolina. Get them out. Get them out. Now, I want, and this is what I want the playoffs to be. Georgia, Michigan, TCU, USC. That's what I want. Give it to me. Please. And anyways, go blue. Go blue. I know this is a really long video, but I had a lot to say, a lot to get off my chest, and there's a lot of things I'm happy about. Nothing can ruin my mood for the next few days because, you know why? We're 12-0. I love my team, man. I do. I love my team. I love Michigan. I love them very much. My team, man. To the end. To the day I die. I live and I bleed maize and blue!